Hey everyone, and welcome back. My name is DFree, and for today's video we are taking a look at some of the questions you guys asked me. Now we've got 73. I can't promise that I will get through all of them, but this one was a community specific or YouTube community specific post. We did not post this Q&A on Twitter or anything like that, so be sure that you guys do have, we put them on Twitter sometimes, but be sure that you guys do pay attention to the community posts and stuff like that. They should show up in your sub box and stuff, so you guys can see those when they pop through. That being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe. If you want to go through a little bit quicker, put the video on 1.5 times speed, but this is just a Q&A video, so nothing crazy. We'll see what happens. So hope you guys enjoy, and here we go. So the first question is from Speed Dim, and he says, will you ever upload any type of Dokkan related content again? I know that Legends is your main priority, but I've always loved your input and voice within the Dokkan community. I answered that before. So let me kind of reiterate here. I never really did do a formal video about why I didn't continue making Dokkan content or whatever the case is. So just to give some context, I like to say this not really as a point of like pride. I guess maybe I'm a little prideful about it, but more or less just so people know, right? Because time has passed. There's new players on that game and stuff like that. There's obviously my boy Truth has mainly taken over that space for Dokkan. Shout out to him. But what I'll say is I had been producing content. I was one of the originals, like the only person that really was. There was a couple of people that I like to watch, like Ranma. Maybe you guys remember him. I don't know if he still has content or not. But the only person of note was Ichigo back then, Living Ichigo. And I started content way back, right? So I had been playing Dokkan since Global came out, right? And Global came out so 7 years ago. So I produced content on a daily basis. And I'm sure inspired a lot of creators that started today as well, or creating content today. So for me, what happened was ultimately, and it happens with every game you play that much, you put up that many videos, ultimately I just got burnt out, man. And what I'll say is I still keep up with the game. I still see all their posts. I still read my boy Garesh's translations for all the new characters. Well, not all of them, but a decent bit of all the new characters that are coming out. And I still play it casually when an event I like is on, like the Worldwide Celebration or the Anniversary. So I've gotten to the point where I do that. And if I wanted to produce content, it wouldn't be something that I would consistently do again. I don't think I'd ever consistently do content again. But if I were to, it would be a little bit different. For example, I've kicked the cans on maybe doing some showcases for some really old characters that you guys probably aren't seeing anywhere anymore, similar to what I kind of do with Legends. I was doing that with Dokkan anyway. That's the showcase thing. Like, people were showcasing characters, but this is another thing that I kind of like created for this community, was doing videos centered around a specific character or specific teams and stuff like that. This is why I say, like, I'm really ingrained in that community as well, but also for Legends too. Zenkai showcases, these things, like, there might have been somebody in the corner of the internet, but on a wide scale, I was the first person doing these things. So, like, I still like to go back to my roots and do some of these things. So in terms of Dokkan, I thought about that. And also, I may or may not have interest in doing a video on rarest characters, and I've already even put together a list for it, talking about the rarest characters on Dokkan, and a lot of them are going to be Japanese exclusive or V-Jump exclusive characters you just can't get, right? So like there's room there, and I've thought about it, and I have ideas, but my trepidation is I don't want to set an expectation so people think that I'm coming back and it becomes a consistent thing. Because people ask me, seriously, like every other video I get asked about, like, oh, are you ever going to upload Dokkan again, or you should play Dokkan, because people don't know I have thousands of videos or something like that on Dokkan. Like I get asked all the time. So I don't want people to think that it'd be an everyday thing or whatever. And also, like, if it comes to showcases, I don't have everything anymore. To be completely honest, I don't have everything anymore. I don't spend money really on that game anymore. I don't have everything anymore. So it's not really about the dupes in them, but just simply having the leader skills, right? I don't have access to that stuff. So it would be kind of weird, right? And I don't know if I want to jump in and do like a server thing. Like, I didn't mind doing server stuff when you know, it came to new characters, but I only did it on new characters for early showcases. Then it got really popular, then I just kind of stopped. If you remember, me and Hydros would do it. So, like, to reiterate, I have ideas, and the reason why I stopped was mainly because I got burnt out. And also, last thing I'll say about this before we move on to the next one is the algorithm stopped promoting my Dokkan videos. At that time, my boy Goresh started popping up. Truth was really taking off. Obviously, Nano and Rhyme was still doing content a little bit, but Rhyme stopped doing videos on Dokkan a little bit as well because of the same reason. And also Legends as well. The same thing kind of is happening with Legends, to be honest. But the algorithm at some point stops promoting them. And also people, you know, they lose interest or they gravitate towards 1 or 2 creators only as opposed to like 5 or 6. And there's obviously not just us, there's even smaller creators that may make better content than us. So like, it is what it is. So that's kind of part of the reason too. With your last community post asking about moving away from gacha content, this is the complete opposite end of the spectrum. Have you considered any games or endeavors that you want to pursue? I know you used to play a DBS card game, and while I know you don't play anymore, I would love to hear your commentary over it, as you do a good job at explaining things in depth. So I've always heard that I do a good job of kind of commentating or things like that, which is, it's really awesome to hear. I don't know, like that's probably in here a few times, the people just having that general sentiment. They want to hear me talk about things and explain things, that's like I said, is awesome. I don't know if I have a real life friend who is trying to get back in the card game. The issue with me in the card game is I played like every set until like the beginning of 2020. And since then, I have only sporadically bought cards. The cards became largely unavailable, and then, you know, stuff that happened in 2020 and all that stuff. So I kind of just fell out of it. And then also that coincided with one of my daughters being born and stuff. So I just stopped playing, right? And I feel like so many cards have come out, so many sets have come out, so many archetypes have come out that it's overwhelming to jump back in. Like, I want to play like Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, but I haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh! Competitively since Teledad was a thing back in like 08, 09, you know? So it's like, I try to come back and I play some fun decks like Cyber Dragons or archetypes I'm familiar with, but it's just too many cards and too much going on. So that's kind of how I feel about the card game. So I don't think I'll really come back. And if I do come back, it won't come back like I even at one point created a channel for the card game content. I didn't really stick with it, but I was heavily invested in playing tournaments and stuff. And outside of gacha content, I have a lot of interest that I have, but I kind of want to stick to mainly gaming stuff. It's just really hard to really branch out on YouTube because, like I was saying, the algorithm and people subscribe for specific content. Like, I know that I've alienated a portion of my subscribers by not doing Dokkan content anymore, and some of them are still here, some of them have left. And obviously, you know, if you're one of those players or one of those people, excuse me, thank you for your support. Either way, I appreciate it. But you know, I have other content I want to do, and I don't want to produce another channel. Like, I have other channels. I don't want to produce another channel and start up from the ground up, but it's kind of difficult to really do. I don't really know. It just kind of depends. Maybe I turn to more of a Twitch stream type of channel or person. I don't know, but still thinking about it. Thank you for your comment. If you were to recommend one game out of all the games you ever played, which one would it be and why? That's a really hard question. I don't. I'd assume, since I'm mainly a gacha game channel, he's talking about gacha games. That's a really tough one. Just depends on your likes. Maybe Marvel Strike Force. It's a fun game that very, 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 very different. Their player base is also not very happy right now, but I still would recommend the game if you're interested in Marvel games. Dragon Quest Dai I'm playing a lot of. Bounty Rush was a good game for a really long time. I stopped playing it just because I just ran out of time, and you know, I'm considering going back to that game a little bit as well. So those are some of the games I would recommend. How's you and your family's lives? I hope you're all doing well. We're all doing good. Thank you for your question, and likewise. What are some animes you watched recently or some of your personal favorites? I just finished Cyberpunk Endrunners. I have not seen it. Thanks for the support. I haven't seen it. It's on my like watch list on Netflix, but I haven't seen it. Speaking of Netflix, I'm watching they haven't had an episode in a few weeks, but the Uncle from Another World, I believe it's called. That one is really fun. I just finished Overlord, the new season. I want it to come back already, and I hope they don't take years again like last time. Dai is about to end. Oh my god, please watch Dragon Quest Dai. Just watch it. It's really good. It starts off kind of slow, but just watch it. Speaking of starts off slow and a similar style, watch the original Dragon Ball if you're somebody that hasn't seen the original Dragon Ball. I'd have to pull up the names because I'm thinking of like different names. I have to pull up the names. I think it's Kadokawa. I think that's what it's called. I'm waiting for that to come back. I just finished F Mommy-chan. F Mommy-chan. We don't like her. If you get the reference. No. I just finished that season 2. I'm currently watching Gundam for the first time. And I'm watching it in release order right now. So I watched Mobile Suit and I watched Zeta, and I'm on Double Zeta. That's pretty much it. I mean, I know that some seasons have come back, like for Spy X Family. I need to watch that. I haven't started it. I haven't watched My Hero in the last couple of seasons because I just kind of read the manga. Haven't read the manga in a couple of months though. The last one I saw was with a potential character dying, and then I immediately saw a spoiler the next week. This is just a couple of weeks ago, so you can imagine what I'm talking about. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not watching One Piece, just reading the manga. Again, haven't read it in a month or so since New Bounties came out. So yeah. What do you want your life and career to look like 10 years from now? Love as always. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I honestly don't know. I feel like I should, but I don't know. I need to figure it out soon though, before I turn 30. So in the next couple of years. So yeah, I need to. But thank you, man. Well, what I'll say on a general aspect is just to be doing better than I am now, if that makes sense. What's your favorite anime, and have you seen Hunter x Hunter? Great show, I recommend. Yes, I have seen Hunter x Hunter. I haven't seen it in a while though. I've seen it a couple of times through. Shout out to Togashi, I believe his name is. I love his animes, and I wish he would come back to the series and finish it off. He's taking so many breaks. But Hunter x Hunter is one of my favorite animes. I love Killua. I love Hisoka is probably my next favorite character, but I like a lot of characters. Anyways, if you want to go more DBZ oriented, which iteration of Gohan is your all-time favorite? Mine is the BoJack movie Gohan. He looks so sick in his father's outfit, and the way he annihilates the Hera clan. That's all. Thank you, man. So yeah, same here. But I think Great Saiyaman is a close second, and then probably my third would be the Orange Star High Super Saiyan Gohan. Oh, but no, I really like the Great Saiyaman Gohan. Not Great Saiyaman, but the Super Saiyan Great Saiyaman from the tournament where he just going Super Saiyan against Kibito. Oh man, I love so many different versions of Gohan. Also, I really like Beast Gohan, but I think I like Great Saiyaman just naturally a lot because he's so silly and goofy, and I really liked a couple of slice of life episodes that he had in Super, where he got to do that. I really like that. So like that's pretty much it for me. Favorite anime, probably Yu Yu Hakusho. I always go back to Yu Yu Hakusho. In fact, I need to watch it again soon. And every time I go back, man, that ending always gets me. I saw that they released a couple of OVAs over the last couple of years. I haven't seen them though. Maybe I'm mistaken on the dates or whatever, but I saw that they were supposed to come back and do some OVAs. I haven't seen them. Should they give out unique equipment for non-LF/Zenkai sparkings? For example, the green transforming future Gohan wouldn't necessarily be more powerful, but just enough to make them more exciting or enticing to use over the meta. So I'm gonna. Okay, so he's saying unique here and not platinum, because these characters do get access to platinum equips. It's just the platinum equips are restricted. They'll be like, oh, Red Movies characters, like that cooler one that came out, I believe, says that, or like Android Saga has a platinum equip. Those equips are naturally really powerful. Like that cooler one goes up to 35% strike attack. So like these characters get access to stuff like that. But in actual unique equipment for specific characters, for non-LF/Zenkai sparkings. So, oh, okay. Well, if it's a Zenkai, this almost reads like non-LF units and non-Zenkai sparking, so just regular characters, but then he mentions that it's the transforming Gohan Zenkai would get access to one, so I assume that's what they're saying here. If we limit it to Zenkai characters, sure, but at a point, like if they start giving them to every character, for one, box space needs to go up like crazy, and two, I think they would start making these characters with their equips in mind, and make their equips something you can't play the character without. You know what I'm saying? Crucial things will be behind their kits now, or on the equips that just won't be a part of their kits. Now that's kind of the case with these characters that are getting equips now, but the difference is they weren't produced with the equips in mind, right? Because the equips are coming a year later, 2 years later, whatever the case is. I think they would kind of produce the equips and then be like, okay, well, let's remove this from the kit, so they have to go and get this equip. They can't play without it. You know what I'm saying? What are a couple of life lessons that have helped shape you into the person that you are? I assume you're saying here, love your content. Stuff like this is really hard to just answer on the spot. It's really, really, really hard. I don't want to just say. I feel like I've had a lot of experiences that have shaped me and are still shaping me. I'm not anywhere near where I need to be. Honestly, I don't have something specific here. Unfortunately, I don't have something specific. All I can really say is, for starters, understand people. Some people are going to be good for you. Some people aren't going to be good for you. That's what I can say is, if you are dealing with some toxic situations or toxic people, you definitely want to get away from that, and don't let that linger on, because it just gets harder, and it just wastes time, and you waste your own time, right? You have a finite amount of time, so that's what I'll say. What do you do as a career? YouTube. That's all I do nowadays, and that's all I've been doing since 2017. Any advice for people going into the workplace, if that's too personal? What are your favorite animes? Or, well, I can't really say about workplace because I haven't worked in a workplace since 2017 or so. It's 2016, 2017. There was a little bit of overlap there, but I stopped. From 2014 to 2017, I worked with Apple tech support, and I was taking phone calls, got to the next level of support, became one of the senior managers there, or senior advisors as they called them at the time. Was making pretty good money back then. It was like $29 an hour or something like that, or it was really good, especially for that time period, like I said, 2015, 16, 17. So that was cool. I was working full time, a lot of overtime. Apple also was really, really generous as a company. They'd run a lot of rallies and give free stuff and take care of people, and a lot of catering. So it was cool. And also, like, the call center and all that stuff was like down the street from my house, so it was really nice. What are your favorite animes or TV shows? I kind of talked about them already. Why did I start YouTube? Just because, like, I talked about how I started with Dokkan. Well, Dokkan wasn't what I started with. Like, I got friends through, so, like, a lot of these videos are kind of gone because I was kind of embarrassed about them a few years ago. Well, honestly, like 2017 or 16, I probably got rid of them, but a lot of the old ones are still really, really up. And I started off because around the time Xenoverse 1 came out, I was really kind of like, oh, like, and like Fusions is coming out at this time, and like this is that 2015, 16 area. And I'm like, oh, Dragon Ball is like still really a thing. And, you know, Resurrection F's movie came out. I saw that, and I'm like, oh, I'm getting back into Dragon Ball because I grew up with the series. And I kind of just left it and got back into it at that time period. And then at that time, Quaman and Rhyme and Black and Fist, and I think Geekdom pops up a little bit later, but he's a part of it too. And these people are discussing Dragon Ball, and I also got in and did discussions on Dragon Ball and stuff like that. And then I started playing some video games. I played like Arkham Knight when that was new, I think, on my channel. Played Xenoverse. I created a lot of Xenoverse guides on how to create characters, which I thought was really fun to do at the time, or create characters that look similar to series characters, right? As much as you could with the customization options available at that time. And then ultimately I just kind of just took it a little bit more seriously when I saw that the numbers started picking up. So that's pretty much it. But at first it just started off because I wanted to talk about Dragon Ball, and I wanted to get back into Dragon Ball and stuff. Who's your favorite Dragon Ball character? Krillin. And what's my favorite arc? It's probably the Frieza arc, especially the early portion where Krillin and Gohan are just going around. Love and support from South Africa. Thank you, man. If you could change anything about DBL, what would it be? I'm talking literally anything from character pull rates, equips, roll rates. Oh man, you have to make a huge list. Well, a lot of things have annoyed me over the course of the years that the game's been out, and a lot of things have also changed over the course of the time the game's been out. But right now, what's annoying me the most is the equip rolls. That's probably like, that doesn't make any sense to me. That and the EX character pull rates, those two things are just limitlessly like stupid to me. Like, I don't understand. Like, there's a lot of things you could criticize in this game or in any game, really. But those two things, the equipment rates, like, okay, I understand they're both, at the end of the day, the way they are to generate more money. Like, you can buy erasers, things like that, and also the more resource drain, the more inclined you are to buy more resource, right? So that's kind of what it is. But like, it's so stupid to me. Like, the platinum equips are coming out, and I'm positive that slot 3 to get the good drops on these unique equipments is like an LF pull. Like, it's extremely low. It's an extremely low chance. It's got to be like 1 point or like a 0.5% chance. And I've asked Toshi directly, like, is the pull rate on this equip, like, to get the good slot, sub 1%? And he couldn't answer that for me. So like, I'm like, dude, it has to be sub 1%, you know, because it doesn't make any sense. And it's on an every equip basis. Once every couple of months, they're putting one of these out, and it's just toxic, dude. And then also the ones that are really, really bad, like I mentioned earlier, are the ones that have a wide range. And this has always been the case. They've done these ever since the game came out. Every now and again, there's one equip that comes out with one slot. It's a little more common now, but they'll have a slot that goes from 5 to like 40%. And it's like, dude, these equips are hella bad. They're hella bad. And then equips are really, really annoying too, because on a per equip basis, like, there's not a general like, oh, every equip has this heavy of a weight for their first slot to re-roll. Like, you know, some of them are really, really weighted really, really badly. They don't, like, they'll have a high range, but they don't want to go above like 12%. Anything above like 12%, for example, on a maximum of 30 is really, really hard to get. So like, it's the whole system is stupid. And then the EXs being as hard to pull as LFs is just dumb. It's actually dumb. All right. I remember the old days when we used to play Dokkan. Oh man, 2016 days, man. I actually like, I miss that time period in general. Like, if I could go back to that time period, I definitely would, just for YouTube and stuff like that. I definitely would. How do you feel about the current state of gacha games, like gameplay, summoning, PvP? Would love to hear your thoughts. Well, all of them are really kind of different. I mean, they all have similar aspects, similar mechanics, like, you know, adventures or whatever is in like a lot of games, expedition type stuff or summons, or, you know, it's all kind of, there's a lot of the same stuff, but they're all kind of different. So it kind of just depends on a general, or you can't really put it on a general, it just depends on a case by case. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm kind of getting tired of them, just generally speaking, because of gachas, the gacha themselves, you know, like the summon mechanics. That's about it though. You know, like, I don't have a problem with PvP. I don't have a problem with gameplay generally, because you're playing these games with the gameplay in mind. So like, some games are going to be turn-based, or some games are going to have, you know, different stuff, and maybe you just don't play it because of that, right? So like, it just depends ultimately. What do you think the reveals and stuff will show? That was Broly. Will you ever do a TCG/OCG box break? If you do, I have cool Yu-Gi-Oh sets to recommend or send over. So I have some really, really old Yu-Gi-Oh unboxings too. Really, really old. Like 2016, 17 area. Like, I did some legendary Yu-Gi's decks unboxing, stuff like that. I have boxes that Dino made me buy, Rhymestyle made me buy like years ago in my closet, but I don't think I'll ever open them. Can you update us on your DQ die box process or progress? 1 year anniversary is very soon. It is now out, and I may have already done that in a video. So thank you, man. What do you think about the state of PvP now, and how would you improve on it? I would personally like for them to add that lock mechanic they did with the RR button with full power battle, but make it 60 counts long. So another full power battle is up. I don't know if they're doing it for that. I haven't played that, and I only played one match of the last one. I probably won't play this one. I don't really care about full power battle. You know, in terms of PvP for me, I got to a point a couple of years ago, and I talked about burnout with Dokkan. I got to a couple of years ago, a point with Legends where two things happened. I said, okay, I'm not going to wail on every character anymore. I'm not going to do it, because it just didn't make the most sense to me. So I stopped pushing everything really, really high in stars, or trying to get that. And shout out to my boy Garesh, because he's still going strong. Even though he told me around the time LF Kid Buu came out that he would stop 14 starring basically every unit. He did not stop. He did not stop. And then something else came out like right after that. I think it was like Frieza or something. And he was like, okay, yeah, after this Frieza, I'll just stop. And he just never stopped. It's become his brand though, so it is what it is. It's the same thing Truth did, basically. It becomes your brand after a while, and you know what? People like to see that, so kudos. So like for me, but also I stopped playing PvP off camera. You know, I stopped going for top 1K, top 5K, things like that. And if I get like top 10K or whatever still from playing PvP on camera, which means more videos basically, then that's good. But sometimes I've played like 5 PvP matches in the last 5 days, and the season's been up since for about 5 days. So like sometimes I just don't play. I just don't play anymore. So but outside of that though, like the state of PvP, I don't want to see any more movies characters. I think what we're gonna get for the end of the year stuff is gonna be Future and GT again, by the way. But I wouldn't be surprised if we got movie stuff, only because movie stuff is popping up on Dokkan and Xenoverse right now. You know, so like it would make sense. It makes sense, but that's about it. I think the meta is pretty bad. It's been pretty bad for a while. Have you ever thought about expanding your content other than mobile games, like IRL videos, vlogs, PC or console games? I have. Okay, so this channel has been around for, like I said, a long time. I've done a lot of stuff like this. It just ultimately boils down to, I haven't done vlogs. It ultimately just boils down to how much people are going to actually watch it. And I'm going to be honest, it gets discouraging to put up other games, whether it's console or not. Like for example, I did some of the Breaker stuff. I have some My Hero Rumble stuff I need to put out that I haven't done. But it gets discouraging when I see my Legends videos doing 20,000 and those videos doing 2,000. And it's like, well, make a separate channel. But like, I don't feel like you should have to do that. I feel like YouTube should promote your content, right? And I have other channels that I don't want to make more channels, you know? And at that point, it becomes a really hard thing to manage. So that's why I stopped uploading as much on my other channel. I have another channel for other mobile games, but instead I started putting the cross-duel videos here. Same thing, basically. It's really discouraging when it's like, okay, you know, well, we'll do that. And it also becomes like, oh, well, it's kind of hard to make Dragon Ball fans, you know, people that are fans of Dragon Ball care about Yu-Gi-Oh! If they don't care about Yu-Gi-Oh! So I understand that. But what if I were to put out another Dragon Ball game? People still wouldn't watch it. They wouldn't care because they only care about, in this case, Legends, right? And I know because when I said Dokkan stop promoting my content, a reason why I switched from Dokkan to Legends was, and I got on Legends really early, back when like it first got revealed. I was doing videos and every news piece. Like I was one of the original Legends creators as well. Way back before we even got access to the game. Anyways, and I'm gonna probably do the same if we get another Dragon Ball game, because there's got to be another one soon. Anyways, moving on. Part of the reason was because it's like, okay, well, people stopped caring about my Dokkan as much, but my Legends was getting a lot of love, and it became a point where Dokkan was doing half the views of Legends, and it wouldn't matter what was happening. It didn't matter, right? So in that case, it's like, okay, well, I guess people don't want this, so I'll just switch. So you can do the same with Dragon Ball games. It's just not how YouTube works, right? So I would like to do more. I don't want to make other channels, but I at this point, and I've done this before, like I've done this again over the years. I've done a lot of different games on this channel. I've done this before where I get to the point where it's like, okay, I'm just gonna put stuff out and I don't really care like if people view it, like whatever. So I'm still kind of doing that right now with Cross-Duel. Let's see, you're a CEO of a video game company with expertise in finance to make your dream game. What would it be? Mine would be a roguelike game set in a fantasy world with some choice-based aspects, but the random aspects of it, you starting character, everything from your social class, talents, abilities, and random. It will take factions and moral system as well. I can't answer this. I just do not know. I'm not that creative in terms of stuff. Like I don't know. I do not know. An immediate thing I want to know, right? I want to see right now is a turn-based Dragon Ball game come out. That's it. That's what I want to see. We haven't seen one in a really long time. So thank you. I cannot. Hope you and your family are well. Just wondering if you can do some vlogs for special events or anything of your choice. I could, but like, what special event? Let me know. What's the worst you've been shafted on a summon in DBL? Probably my summons for green SS3. Those might not be the worst summons, but they're definitely the most memorable bad summons. The green SS3 LF Goku, the original one. I kept getting Red Kid Buu over and over, and it was terrible. It was terrible. Before that, Rhymestyle had to go like nearly 100,000 CC on a banner, and I think I went very, very similar amounts to get that guy. It was terrible. So It may not be my worst, I don't remember, but it was definitely the most memorable one for me. I feel like I got something else that came close, but not as bad. What are some things you enjoy besides games, or do you have any other hobbies that you love but just never really talk about? Not a ton. I'm big on working out. That's about it. So other than games, that's pretty much obviously, you know, spending time with my kids, my family. That's about it. What's your favorite thing about being a dad? I think for me is watching your kids kind of grow up and progress and pick up different things or learn different things and take their own interests and stuff. I think that's really cool. Would you still do YouTube even if you had all the money you need to live comfortably? And if you could start over here on YouTube, what would you do differently? Yeah, I probably still would. Assuming I had time. Because YouTube currently being a job, I have to make time. But I enjoy it. I enjoy interacting with you guys. So yeah, I think so. However, I think if you had all the money you need to live comfortably, I'm not saying I'm rich, but comfortably, I feel like I'd probably spend more time just playing games in general and not worrying about this. But I like having the community around and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's kind of tough to say. If I could do YouTube differently, I'd probably start with more of a variety channel, because what happened, like I've talked about already throughout this video, my channel didn't start as Dokkan or Legends or anything like that. That's a misconception. But what happens is you get comfortable. Okay, you get comfortable when it's like, okay, well, people want to see this. I'll just keep doing it out, and the numbers pile in. Obviously, the money comes in a little bit. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to keep doing this because it's successful. But then inevitably what happens is you build a fan base only for that. And it's really, really, really tough to make people branch out. You may get 5% of your viewers to branch out to your other stuff, you know? So I think I would probably not get too comfortable with one thing. And that doesn't mean, by the way, if I didn't get comfortable, I did more of a variety in the first place, that doesn't mean that people wouldn't still want specific stuff only, by the way. That would still be the case. But maybe a channel more similar to like Globku or like Afro, where they can kind of just put up whatever. And yeah, stuff does better than other stuff depending on what you're putting out, but you don't have to worry about playing the same game over and over. Not that I don't enjoy producing videos for Legends currently, but I have to, even if I put something else out, I have to make sure that I put out a Legends video on that same day. Otherwise that day becomes a negative. It becomes, I lost subscribers this day because of this video, because people unsubscribe every time they see something that's not Legends. It's inevitable. And also I don't make as much money. I have to make sure that if you notice, I put out a video on another game, and like shortly thereafter there's a Legends video, because I have to do it. What do you think about the current state of Legends? And do you think they'll lose players again? There's a lot of things that are kind of wrong with the game. I'm sure they're always losing players, but also I think we need to remember they're always gaining players. And I also think that a lot of people that play the game don't actually partake in discussions online. Like, I see Libra basically every day posting a tweet about something that's not great in the game, and it's not that I disagree, but a lot of people aren't seeing these things. And even if I produce videos on that every day, for one, I think that would get tiring for me to discuss these things like on a daily basis. That's why I do it every now and again. Like I did a video about the summons and stuff like 2 weeks ago, and how bad they really are, and how much inconsistency there is in summon banners. Like I don't know, but there's a lot of changes that are always happening, and they'll lose players, but they'll always gain players back. So because during the anniversary, that wasn't a great anniversary for the players, but it was a great anniversary for the devs, which is, I'm sorry, all that truly matters for them is how well, not for the devs themselves, because I can't really talk about them or how they work for them, but for the game itself, right? It actually was really good because they got peak numbers, peak sales, peak players. They had a great anniversary metric-wise. Again, not great for us, and people don't like to hear that, but it's the reality. The game did great during the anniversary. So what can you do? I don't know. What are our thoughts if Superhero doesn't come for Legends Festival? I kind of just mentioned, I think it'll be future stuff. So yeah, if it doesn't happen, I don't really know, like, because I don't think it'll be anniversary. I don't really know when it comes out at that point. Maybe for directly after, because I'm thinking Legends Festival is going to start really, really soon and push out for a few months until the end of the year, just like Anniversary did. Just be a few months long and have 2 parts and then an Ultra at the end. What are your thoughts, honest thoughts on Legends? Like, do you think the game has started its downfall? Do you think it's steady? Be honest. Also, cute. Well, for one, you don't got to tell me to be honest. I'm always honest. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching the videos. I'm always honest. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna sugarcoat. I'm not gonna BS. I'm always honest. I don't think Legends is doing great right now. I don't think the meta is great right now. I don't think downfall is happening anytime soon. Like, the game, here's the deal. I said this during the anniversary, and I'm still gonna say it now. The game is going to last for another couple of years, at least another couple of years. Okay, the game is making it to 6, 7, at least I think 7.5, 8 years anniversaries. It is doing well. Okay, however, with the revolving door of players, it can be kind of tough to see online when all you see. The thing about online community is, I don't want to diminish it and just boil it down to, oh, it's a loud minority, but it really is. That doesn't mean that you can't impact change. It doesn't mean that you can't, you know, have an influence on the game in any capacity, but you have to understand that the online community isn't the general sentiment, and it's almost like an echo chamber. Because, like I talked about Libra being mad about it, but all I see is a lot of people being mad about the game. But understand that that's kind of just, like I said, an echo chamber. Everybody's mad about it online. But that's not the general sense of everybody, right? And if it is their sense, they'll just stop playing. But it's a Dragon Ball game, one of the only 2 on the market. It'll get downloaded again by somebody else. There's billions of people in the world. It's on every single app store. It's getting players. So it's kind of weird. I don't know. It's not going anyway anytime soon. It makes enough money. It's not like it's at the bottom of sales and it's just drudging along. It's going to be fine, especially with the anime returning, especially with them liking to make movies every couple of years. It's inevitable. The game's going to be around for a while. So again, I don't think the game is doing great. I think there's a lot of things that can change, and I'm sure they will, but it's just going to take time. What are your all-time top 3 tags in Dragon Ball Legends? Female warriors / girls, super warriors, and hybrids. Not because of any reason other, like hybrids, like not for any other reason than the fact I love Gohan. Big fan. Your uploads are awesome. What motivated you to start YouTube videos? I kind of talked about that earlier, but I just wanted to do videos that I saw. I wanted to do some of the same stuff I saw people doing. And thank you for your support. We're gonna end soon because this has gone really long, and I can't get all of these. I'm sorry if I didn't get to yours. Does the Rising Rush theme randomly play in your head sometimes? No. Do you play any console games? If you do you plan on bringing them to the channel? So right now I'm playing, it's not on console, it's only on PC right now. I'm playing a lot of Gundam Evolution. Well, as much as I can with time. I've played like 9 hours since it's been out for a couple of weeks. That's not a ton, but that's about as much as I can do with time. So right now I'm only playing that other than like mobile games. Before that, I finally finished Final Fantasy VII's remake and Dragon Quest 11. So those are the type of games I'm playing. But like, I don't really know if I'll put videos up on them. I kind of want to go back to Kakarot because, you know, they'll have some of that new DLC a little bit. I never played the DLC that came out previously with like the future Gohan stuff. So I don't know. What's your opinion on the current meta with 3-star cooler, 1 cumbering every unit? I've already talked about it a lot. I don't want to see any more movies, characters. Cooler is broken. Just, yeah, I say it in all my videos, like, Cooler is just absolutely stupid. Saga Rush mentioned recently that we should stop expecting heroes for Superhero for Legends Fest. Excuse me, what do you think? Yeah, I've already talked about that. It's not that I would say stop. Okay, I think the point of saying stop expecting is so you don't get excited for and then get disappointed when it doesn't happen. So don't expect anything for Legends. Like, I don't care if it's hero or like anything. Don't expect anything. Okay. Until these other games or media stuff, because like, okay, Xenoverse is getting heroes. The Dragon Ball Super card game content just got superhero. I keep saying heroes, but superhero. What else is getting it? Dokkan JP. There's been rumors or leaks that Gamma 1 and 2 are coming there, at least on JP. I don't know if it's global. With shout out to Dokkan having already gotten a couple of things. Wait, what, the free Gohan? I don't know if anything else came. So with it making its rounds, I wouldn't be surprised. Also, Heroes is still getting content. Like I think they're getting another Beast Gohan, right? So like it's around on these games, and Legends is kind of good. Like, really, if you think about it, I mean, Kakarot doesn't really count. Fighters doesn't count. If they said they're done with Kakarot, I don't know. But like otherwise, Legends is like the only game not really getting heroes, or I keep saying heroes, superhero content. So I don't know. What kind of gameplay would you like the next mobile title for Dragon Ball to have? I already said our turn-based RPG would be awesome. What's your favorite video game of all time? I don't know if I have one. Don't know if I have one. Maybe Legacy of Goku? Don't know if I have one. No, probably Pokemon Crystal. I think it's Pokemon Crystal. I think that's the game. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Pokemon Crystal. Otherwise, I haven't really thought about that. I don't think I have one otherwise, but if it is, I'm pretty sure it's Pokemon Crystal. How do you see Legends going with must pull nonsense during dry celebrations? I assume he's saying with how powerful these characters are. I mean, that's just, yeah, they're going to continue doing that. Favorite color? I don't have one, to be honest. Favorite anime or anime character? Yu Yu Hakusho. Favorite character? Probably Hiei. What or who gave you inspiration to start a gaming channel on YouTube? I already talked about that one as well, so thanks for the comment, man. If you don't see this on video, it's fine, but do you think that the PvE section of Dragon Ball Legends is slowly dying out for the sake of having more players go to the PvP side? No, not really. Okay, let me say this. Legends is not a PvP game. At least they wouldn't, the devs themselves would not describe it as a PvP game, okay? They want to generally put content out for both sides, and they're doing that. They've never really found a footing though with PvE content. PvP is different because it's always there, and you don't have to do anything. You literally don't have to do anything. You don't have to produce any content. You just put some rewards on and people play. But there have been a lot of different types of PvE content. Right now they're doing that super boss battle or whatever it's called, Supreme Boss Rush, whatever. So no, I don't think it's dying in any capacity. But they're trying to make it harder, and there's a lot of different PvE modes. Like you may not like them, but Tournament of Power, there's the space time, there's, like I said, the boss rush stuff, and there's the event stages, story stages. Like it's still there. It's there. It's not going away, obviously, but definitely not for the sake of PvP, because PvP they don't have to do anything. If you think about them developing content, it's just characters. So it's PvE content and characters. They don't have to do anything with PvP. I low-key want to see some stuff about you, like vlogs and other stuff. Will you do this in the future? I'm not sure, but thank you, man. I appreciate it. What's my opinion on Green Future Gohan Zenkai? I think he's really good. I really like the Ultimate Gohan that came out before him as well. Before him? I'm pretty sure it was before. They basically came out like in like the same like time period, like of a few weeks. Are there any mobile games you wish you had started playing when it came out, or started earlier but missed? I feel like there are, but I can't think of any, to be honest. But that is inevitable. Like, if you were to try to play a game after years of it being out, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard. Like, I picked up the Gundam mobile game because I've been in the anime a lot, and I don't know how much I like it, but also there's a lot of stuff in it. It's kind of overwhelming. When you start a game brand new from scratch, and it's like, oh, there's years of stuff here. Characters you don't have, blah, blah. So if Legends keeps adding new buffed characters, then in future there will be an absolute absurd character 20 to 30 times better than Super Vegito or Frieza No Brother. So will the game still be fun, or will it be repetitive and stuff? Love your every videos. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. But inevitably, yeah, it'll still be fun because people like to see damage, for one. And two, this is no different than what's already happened. Like, so the thing is, this has always happened. The game's been out for years. Okay, it's been out for years. This is inevitable. Power creep is inevitable. But the thing is, the baseline changes. So eventually, in a couple of years, it's kind of scary to think about now, but you'll be normalized to it. But like characters like Super Vegito and Cooler are still going to be decent characters, but that's about it. They're going to be characters that are going to be way better because the baseline will have changed. There will be more characters that pop up that are really, really good, or at least decent characters that are better than the characters we've had before them, and it's going to bring everybody down a notch, so it's not some crazy thing, right? So it's kind of, if that makes sense to you, it's kind of how it works, right? So it's inevitable, it's going to happen, and people will still play, still have fun. What do you think about DBL now? Didn't get better or worse, or still the same? I think it has spurts. I think it gets a lot better, and then it gets a lot worse, and it gets a lot better, and then it's a lot worse. But it really just depends on what you're interested in and how you play the game. Like if you're only interested in PvE content and you're free to play, then you probably hate the game. It is what it is. Well, you may not hate the game, but you probably are less inclined to like it. But if you like PvP, Even if you're free, you probably like the game a little more. And if you spend money and you play PvP, then you probably are okay with the game. You know, it just kind of depends what you're into. What are my thoughts on The Boys? The show's gruesome. I'm caught up on it. The show's gruesome. I haven't read any of the manga, the comics, but the show's pretty gruesome. That's my immediate thought. It's also like, it's really good. I like it. Homelander is definitely interesting. All right, let's read the last few here. Any advice you could give to smaller creators like myself to grow on YouTube in the Dragon Ball Legends niche? I really enjoy your content. I think you have a pretty good understanding how things work, and you've been doing YouTube for a long time. So if you only want to grow in, and this is something I didn't talk about. I talked about expanding horizons and stuff, but I never talked about if you only want to grow in one niche. For one, I wouldn't recommend growing only in one niche because you box yourself in. For example, if Legends shuts down, it would be really hard for myself, but also people like you that only want to grow in Legends to expand. But maybe it's different for you. Maybe you don't need the job. Maybe you're just, when Legends is done, you're okay with just being done. Like it really just depends on a person's situation. But for me, I have to expand my horizons. So inevitably, when another Dragon Ball game comes out, you will see a lot of coverage on my channel, especially if it's a mobile game, because I think that translates really, really well. Like I said, it's tough to translate from Dokkan to Legends because it's very, very different. But I think going to another mobile game with the hype being at peak and stuff like that, I could build another fan base for that game and do the same thing over again. So you will inevitably see that. But what I'll say is produce content as much as you can. Share the videos as much as you can on social media, things like that. Try to build a following. Also interact with other creators. Leave your comments. Not saying go to comments on people's videos and say, oh, check out my video or subscribe to my channel. That doesn't work. Also, YouTube filters those as spam anyway, so they don't even get seen, to be honest, unless the creator lets it go through. They could just be deleting them, right? But like, go to their videos, watch their videos, comment on something interesting in the video, get yourself some hearts, get yourself some likes, get yourself some notoriety, come back consistently. People will see you more inclined to check you out. That's one of the things I did a lot, not to try to grow my channel only, but also because I wanted to be engulfed in the community as well. But also try to come up with some interesting ideas and teams and strategies and things like that for Legends specifically, and try to carve out your own space in Legends that would get you seen as well. Interesting things like, so let me say, showcasing, I talked about how I'm one of the original creators of that just in general for our Dragon Ball games, but like I can't deny that it's really hard to pop off with a showcase video or showcase channels because there's a lot of them. And there's a lot of high-end, like me, Goresh, Rai. It's a lot of high-end channels that are really just going to get all of the views on that. And it's not really as much me. It's really Goresh and Rai really pulling all the views in, if we're being honest. Shout out to my boys. But it's really hard to do that and pop off. And everybody is going to do the same videos and new characters come out. So this is part of the reason too. So I think if you find a way to differentiate your content, you'd be better off. No questions, just love you. Thanks, man. What do you think about Ultra Z Broly? He's pretty powerful. Will you oh, I guess this was before he came out. Yeah, it aged well. Will you ever go back to Dokkan? I would like to see it. Maybe. I said I had some ideas. You ever thought about making Krillin merch? I've had a couple of shirts, but I need to come back with another one. Huge fan, been watching you since AGL Super Vegito on the Japanese side of Dokkan. I said, yeah, that's like 2016, right? Wow, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Why is Zenkai soul boosting so tedious? No idea. It could definitely be a little bit more easily done. Favorite live action Spider-Man? Probably Toby. Favorite movie? Probably No Way Home right now. Or the Spider-Verse movie. Will the video and stuff talk about Hachiyak? No. All right, we're gonna go ahead and wrap there. So hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry I couldn't get to everybody else. How old am I? 28. How will this video contribute to LeBron's legacy? Oh my god. How old are your kids? 2 and 3. One's actually crying now, so I gotta go. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.